Hi everyone, Chillax here and welcome back to another Anchor Panic video. So as you can see before you, Season 1 for Land Clash will officially begin in about 7 days. And this is a guild versus guild PvP game mode that rewards you awesome rewards, assuming you are in an active guild. The structure of this video will be as follows. We will first go over how exactly this game mode works, and then we will go over the rewards you can get, and then wrapping things up with some team building tips and demonstrations. So without further ado, let's begin. So just kind of explaining this overview here. Right now we are in the enrollment phase, which I think lasts for about 2 weeks because it has already been a week and we still have 1 more week to go. So this is plenty of time for your guildmates to set up their 2 defensive formations and for your guild leader to distribute those defensive teams across 19 different territories, which includes 1 energy hub, 3 energy bases, as well as 15 energy pylons, as you can see here. And essentially this game mode, once we enter the active phase, will be, I think, 1 week, an intense 1 week where for 5 straight days, each day you will face against a different guild, basically duke it out, and then based on the amount of processing power you accumulate for your guild, you will either, rank up or get matched with other people with a similar win record to you. And at the very end, you will get ranked. As you can see here, the season ends in 11 days. So, in 7 days, we will face off and you'll have, I guess, 4 days of fighting. I'm not really sure. I thought it was 5, but maybe it's 4 days. And yeah, you'll be ranked based on your guild's overall performance, and then you will get various rewards such as crystal ashes, a temporary frame, as well as 2 different resources to purchase from 2 different shops. And this one's the special one that's brand new to Land Clash, and we'll go over the shop in a moment. So your guild will appear in the blue, and once enrollment phase is over, you'll get matched against opposing guild, which their territory will show up in the red map, and it'll reveal the guild you face off against down below. Now, you will need to set up 2 different defensive formations, and this will be kind of like a mini advanced arena where your team 1 will hit the opponent's team 1, and your team 2 will hit the opponent's team 2. And as it specifies here, once the enrollment phase is over, you cannot change your defensive lineups. And actually, I think once the enrollment phase is over, I don't think your guild leader can even take you off the territory you were assigned to defend. So this is a very critical moment, and you have 2 weeks to basically plan it out. And then, of course, throughout the entire game mode, you will be able to set up and modify your attack formations on the fly. And as it specifies over here, when you attack an opponent, each player will get 3 attacks, which is denoted by this resource right here. And this will refresh at the start of each day during the active phase. So you get 3 attacks, and with each attack, your team 1 hits team 1, your team 2 hits team 2 for whatever landmark you are attacking. And then depending on how your performance is, it'll determine whether you have triggered a victory condition, a draw condition, or a defeat. So if both your team 1 and team 2 beats the opponent's team 1 and team 2, this is considered a victory, and you will deal 120 points of damage to that enemy facility, as well as award your guild 120 processing power. And if you say like your team 1 wins but your team 2 loses, that's considered a draw. You will still do 60 points of damage to that facility, as well as award your guild 60 processing power. So it's always in your best interest to do your attack. Not to mention, just by attacking, you are awarded a certain amount of that orange crystal, and depending on the victory or loss condition that you triggered. And then a loss is if both your Team 1 and Team 2 lose against the opponent's Team 1 and Team 2. Yeah. And then when you have 19 players who have set up their defensive formations, then your guild leader will deploy the defensive formations across the 19 different facilities, which are denoted by these icons here. So this would be considered an energy hub, which awards the enemy up to 3,000 processing power, depending on how much of the HP meter they can deplete. And as specified by this condition here, the energy hub cannot even be attacked until at least one of the energy bases have had their HP dip to equal to or below 50% health. Yeah, so you have to deal a certain amount of damage before you can hit the main headquarters on the opposing side. But just going back to member status here, this is the energy hub. These are the, or no, not the energy hub. Yeah, energy hub. And then these are the energy bases, and there should be 3 of them. And then you have the energy pylons. If the opponent can completely defeat an energy hub, it awards the opponents up to 1,200 processing power. And if they take down an individual energy pylon, that is 300 points per pylon taken down. So it's in your best interest to put your strongest players, your strongest PvP players, in the energy hub, as well as energy, whatever it's called, energy base. Yes, and only the guild leader as well as the vice leader can deploy the defensive formations across these different facilities. So it's very important to have an active guild leader or an active vice leader, as well as at least 19 active players, because in order to even participate in Land Clash, you need all facilities to be deployed with members to participate in Land Clash. So this is important. I know some players are not in a guild at all, or if they're in a guild, they maybe have only like 7 members or something like that. So this is like your incentive to have more members and more active members. Yes. Okay, so now let's go over the different rewards. So like I mentioned before, you have 2 weeks of the enrollment phase. You have 4 days of the active phase, where each of the 4 days you face off against a different guild. And depending on how you perform, at the end of the season, you will be ranked based on your union's performance, and your union performance will determine the kind of rewards you get, such as crystal ashes, a temporary frame, as well as these 2 different resources right here. Yeah, so I know a lot of players have not been leveling up their tech at all, but if you are serious about doing well in PvP, it is worth your while to level up your tech, which is located here, in order to get some stat boosts to individual elements, as well as, technology to improve your crit rate and that sort of stuff. Even lifesteal, which you normally wouldn't have in advanced arena or normal arena. This should be very interesting. Yeah, so going back to, or I should say going now to the rewards, if I was to go to the Union store, specifically Land Clash, as you can see here, you get summon tickets, you get sigil summons, Stellaron boundary crystals, as well as Stellaron bottle boxes, and each one of these boxes awards 12 Stellaron bottles, which is quite significant. So it goes without saying that in order of priority, whether you are a free-to-play player or a whale, you will definitely want to buy out the Stellaron bottle box shop first, and this is quite easy to do. Even if you are the worst union on the global server, so long as you even participated and placed, like actually ranked, you will get 1,200 of these virtual image essences, to buy out the 2 Stellaron bottle boxes. But I would imagine that most, if not all of you guys watching will be able to buy more than this, because you'll also be attacking, and attacking will award some of these. So I would imagine most players will be able to buy out both of these boxes, all 3 of these special link permits, 3 of these blood reagents, and heck, maybe even buy some boundary cores. So that would be the order in which I would buy everything. So Stellaron bottle boxes first, followed by special link permits, blood reagents, and then I would hold off on these until you really need the boundary cores. Yes. Okay, so now let's wrap things up with some team building. So if I was to go here and look at my attack team, this is a sample formation. Basically, the thought process behind team building is that when it comes to PvP, speed tuners are king, and the 2 best speed tuners in the game right now would be Turn as well as Echo, assuming that you have her signature sigil. And to some extent, Lang Jiao is also a speed tuner, assuming that she's accompanied by another ice operator to activate the ice homology, which will allow you to slow down the target speed with each freezing stack. Now, there's 2 different ways you can do this. Obviously, you're going to have a lightning team on one side and a quantum team on the other, because you typically want to divide your speed tuners across different teams, that way you don't get blown out on one side. And then with regards to how exactly to splash your operators, it really depends. I would say that whichever team has Frost Jade as well as another ice operator will be more resilient, especially if you have Frost Jade A3. So I would say the team that you want to have a higher chance to win, to put your Frost Jade there. I do have to say that Frost Jade and Abyss Elysia have very good synergy, because Frost Jade enables a stall kind of comp, which favors Abyss Elysia, because the longer you can stall, the more rounds will transpire for Abyss Elysia to revive and energy burst the enemies down. So for this reason, I tend to favor ice on the lightning team. And then for the mono quantum team, quantum's a very strong element. You have plenty of great defenders, plenty of great healers, and there's incentives to having a mono quantum team. So more likely, I would say the majority of you guys will run a mono quantum team, something like this, where you have your speed tuner, you have your healer, you have your defender, and then you have, your 2 best quantum DPSs. So that pretty much wraps it up for this video. I hope you found this informative. If you haven't already, don't forget to drop a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will catch you in the next video. Take care.